Welcome to the seminar for the Foundational Fitness Challenge. In this video, I'm going to go over some expectations and things that will be happening and what we're looking for out of this challenge. Now, to be clear, this challenge is going to be particularly focused on building that baseline fitness, the foundation of our fitness pyramid. So we're talking about increasing our metabolic conditioning through using zone 2 aerobic capacity or aerobic training. What we're going to be looking for over the next several weeks is building that up. Before we get started though, we're going to have a fitness test, an aerobic capacity test that we'll complete. You must get with me so that we can complete that at the gym. It's going to involve rowing, burpees, and thrusters in a similar to an EMOM, but it's actually an every 4-minute window. We'll break that down with you in more detail as we do that test. We'll retest that at the end of the 6 weeks as well and see what kind of progress we've made. One of the things I'll stress when we do the test is that you take stock in how you felt throughout and how each round of that test feels. So I'll ask you to write some of those things down, and that way we can go back and look and evaluate the progress we made, not just from maybe improving the test, but how we felt during the test as well. If you've got a heart rate monitor, it's going to be extremely valuable. So what I mean by that, a smartwatch or a strap that goes around your chest, it'll be extremely valuable, especially when you're doing the test. And then also throughout the next 6 weeks with our workouts that we are going to be designing specifically for building that aerobic capacity. So what happens with this challenge? Each week you're going to have 3 workouts that will be additional to what you do in class. Now, I would like for you to commit to doing at least 2 of those workouts. 3 would be preferential, but doing at least 2 of those each week. Now with those workouts, it's going to be a little bit different. Let's save the intensity for our class sessions. So when you're coming to do workouts in class, that's where we're going to push the intensity. When we are doing these extra workouts, they're going to be longer in duration. We're not particularly worried about how intense we're going. We're going to be focused on making sure we've got a good breathing pattern. So making sure that we're not fully running out of breath. Like I said, at that point, during those workouts, the heart rate will be very valuable. Keeping that heart rate in a comfortable zone or what we would call a conversational zone will be of extreme value. So if you've got your heart rate monitor, whether that be wrist-based or chest strap, would be super valuable. The other thing we want to focus on are movement patterns. So we're going to be really focusing on moving well in these workouts, not just trying to get the work done. We're going to be focused on breathing, heart rate, and moving appropriately. All of those things combined over time are going to really help build that foundation. The other aspect of this challenge will be a nutritional component as well. It's going to be based off of the nutritional fitness in 100 words that Greg Glassman put out many years ago, and it's kind of the basis for the foundational piece for CrossFit. We're going to be focusing on whole foods, and then also on really prioritizing meat and vegetables. So I don't care what kind of meat you eat. It can be fish, it can be steak, it can be ground beef, it could be chicken, pork. Any of it is fine. I will say that I do recommend choosing more of the fattier cuts because that's going to really provide energy for your workouts. And also it's a great base. Most of our hormones are highly influenced by the quality and the amount of fat that we take in through our diet. So it's going to be super valuable there to choose kind of the healthier, fattier, or healthy fattier cuts of meat. Vegetables. We're going to provide you a full food list. And I say full food list, it's not all encompassing, but it's really well thought out. There are going to be lots of food options. Like I said, basically you're going to be eating meats and vegetables to fill. All right, you are going to eat. If you're hungry, you're going to choose those foods particularly first. But we are going to have fruits, some seeds, nuts, some dairy products, and also some nut butters will be on there as well. We're not going to put a ton of stress on what you drink. I do recommend staying away from diet sodas and any soda that has added sugar. So we're going to really focus on cutting out the sugars in this nutrition. With that being said, some energy drinks, while I don't recommend it, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. Again, the focus is going to be more on food and not necessarily on the drinks. So we will break that down a little bit more over the coming weeks, and I'll be taking questions as needed. Like I said, with this, you're going to get a full food list. You're going to get several casserole recipes that are easy to make or fairly easy to make. If I think they're easy to make, they're probably pretty easy to make, especially if you're a little more experienced in the kitchen than I am. We're also going to link the Metfix Daily Fix recipes. So on that Daily Fix recipes, I know a lot of people really enjoy mixing up what they eat and having a different option. Maybe not every meal, but throughout the week, they like to have many different options. So we're going to link the Metfix Daily Fix. They've put out quite a few different easy, fairly simple whole food recipes that my wife and I have made several of. I know Coach Nathan has made several with his family. I've always had good luck with making those, and they've so far been really, really good. They've worked with a professional chef to put these together, following a whole food diet. The big stress with our nutrition component for these next 6 weeks is going to be keeping our insulin low. So getting control on any blood sugar spikes. So with that being said, there will not be any added sugar with anything that we do. When you look at the food list, you'll see that there are quite a few low glycemic berries and other fruits that are not going to really impact your blood sugar levels throughout the day. So the way the nutrition component will break down, like I said, it's going to be lots of meat and vegetables. Eat till you're full. If you're hungry, eat. We're not going to sit there and say, no, you need to eat, a particular macronutrient level. The focus will be the meat, the proteins, and the vegetables. From there, you can have 1 to 2 servings of fruits, 1 serving each of the nuts and like almond butter, peanut butter, that kind of stuff. I do recommend, if you're doing the almond butter, peanut butter, to look for the stuff that is literally just almonds and salt or peanuts and salt. There are several brands that make those. I've found that they're really good. The only issue is just having to mix them up because the oil does sit at the top a little bit. But you'll be able to do 1 serving of that each day, 1 serving of nuts. And then the dairy, some people do really well on dairy. Some people don't handle dairy as well. So do that for you. If you're somebody that really does well using cheeses, cream cheese, that kind of stuff, by all means have some. It'll be on the list. It's not going to be fully regulated as far as, no, don't eat so much of this. Just do it for you. If you notice that you've got stomach issues, you feel lethargic, anything like that, it interrupts sleep, make sure that maybe we dial back on some of the cheeses and dairies. Like I said, the big focus is keeping our blood sugar in a healthy range, so that we don't have these big spikes. That we're going to be really focusing on maintaining good natural energy throughout the day. So when it comes to how much you eat, what I've noticed incorporating this nutrition is early on, I'm a lot hungrier and I eat more. So I might eat 3 meals a day when I first start on this type of nutrition, when I start following this type of diet. And so I particularly will have 3, maybe even 4 meals throughout the day. As I progress, what I have found over the first couple of weeks, I'm not nearly as hungry throughout the day, and I kind of migrate to a big meal early in the morning or early in the day, and a big meal towards the mid-evening, usually about 3 to 4 hours before I go to bed. And that's what serves me best. I feel like I have great energy levels throughout the day. My digestion seems to be working well. Never feel like I'm not able to do a workout with the kind of energy that I really want to have when completing workouts. So the nutrition will be very, very straightforward. If you have any questions on the nutrition, I'm going to have an FAQ list that will go with that, with the foods that you're going to get. And any questions on top of that, perfectly fine to reach out. Know that I'll get to those when I see them. I'll give you a couple of ways that you can get a hold of me. Now, when it comes to the actual challenge portion, so we're going to be tracking a little bit. The couple things we're going to be tracking are you following the nutrition, and are you doing at least 2 of the extra workouts each week? So I'm going to have a separate track in SugarWOD where you can track those workouts. That's where those workouts will populate. I'll share with you during the seminar or in class how you can find those workouts using the drop down on SugarWOD app. So you'll track those workouts. Like I said, they're not going to be focused on intensity. Each workout that you do, complete of those, plus each class workout will get you some points towards the challenge. And then with the nutrition, this is going to be basically, did I follow it or did I not? So when I'm not, like I said, we're not worried about macronutrients or this, that, or the other, or being overly concerned of did I eat off of plan. What we'll do is we'll have days and we'll have a way to track for you that I'm going to share as we get closer to the actual challenge. And if you followed the meal plan for that day, if you ate off of that food list or some of our recipes, then you get credit that day for following the meal plan. If you didn't, no big deal. Don't worry about it. Not everyone's going to be perfect, and most likely no one will be perfect over the 6 weeks. And that's okay. Don't penalize yourself. Don't overly focus on not following through with that meal plan, or having a day where you went out to eat with family to celebrate something and you ate off of plan. That's going to be okay. The goal is to eat on plan as much as possible throughout. And like I said, there's going to be tons of foods on there for you. Now, one of the things that I want you to consider when we get into this, especially after that first week or so, that's where things start to feel a little tedious when following a nutrition plan or being in a challenge, and especially as we move into that second, third, fourth week, where it's kind of further from the start, but also a little ways from the end. A lot of people get to a point like, oh man, I'm really hungry. I love this, I love that. The way I look at it is, if the food is not on this meal plan, and I look through that meal plan, I'm looking for snack ideas for what I could possibly eat, and I don't find anything that really sounds good, it's a pretty encompassing list. If I can't find it on there, chances are I'm probably really not that hungry. I'm more so bored or just really want to try to eat off plan. And that's okay if that happens. Just be aware of why it's coming up. All right. But like I said, we're going to give you, as we get closer to the 13th start date, I'm going to share with each person that signs up the food list, and you'll have 12 to 14 different casserole recipes that are super easy to make. If you're like me, you can make a casserole on Sunday and you've got it for the whole week. You can make 2 or 3. You could have one for breakfast, one for lunch, and one for dinner each day. You can make 3 or 4 of them and mix and match throughout the week, and you're going to have a lot of options. And you're also going to have snack options between some fruit, vegetables, nuts and seeds, things like natural beef sticks. There are several brands out there that are really good that I've found in a pinch really hit the spot. So there'll be a lot of those. Like I said, there is a focus of nutrition on this, but the main focus will be building that foundation of our aerobic capacity. And so going forward, you'll be looking for those 3 workouts each week. Once you've completed those, make sure that you are entering your workouts or entering your scores in SugarWOD, both for those workouts and also for your class workouts, to be getting credit for those. At the end of the challenge, what we'll do is we'll tally up each workout that you completed throughout the 6 weeks and each day that you followed the meal plan or followed the nutrition plan during those 6 weeks. We'll put those up. You're going to get some names, your name in a drawing for that number of times. At the end, that's how we will choose the winner of the challenge. So it's not necessarily the person that lost the most weight, the person whose body composition changed the most, or the person who improved the most on their start and finish workouts, because we can game all of those things. What we can't game is the effort and the work that we put in. And so we really want to reward each and every one of you for putting the time and effort into this challenge. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm excited for you to get started on this. If you're watching this video, you're going to receive from me a handful of questions about some things we talked about on the video or things with the challenge. You must answer those before we get started. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Looking forward to this challenge and I hope everybody has a great day.